how much would you say bodybuilding has taught you, with the commitment aspect of things, to transition now into the business element of things in life?
The shortest, easiest answer is, if I have to answer that, you don't get it yet. And if you get it, you've already won the game, because there is no finish line. Bodybuilding isn't about finishing. It's about constant growth and daily choices, whether you feel like it or not. That's what success looks like, because success is boring because it's simple and repeatable, and it's not fun. That's the part why people lose the game, because they try to use business to have fun instead of using business to buy fun. My business isn't fun. I don't like doing the same things every day. Just like I didn't like waking up at 4:30, or I didn't like prepping, or I didn't like cutting water, and I didn't like doing blank. But they were a means to a goal. So they were the path that I was willing to walk. And the more I walked the path, the more I was rewarded with freedom. And entrepreneurship is no different. Success is simple. You don't scale a company to $1 billion with complexity. It's impossible. It comes down from consistent, repeatable behaviors done over a grander modality of time that allows you to win. And if you play that game, you will forever win, because you'll always swing more than everybody else who's trying to figure out how to swing next. The clarity that most people look for, they can't find until they take action. So instead, they look for it, never taking the action, never finding the clarity. But you and I both know, we've joked about this. I relate so much of marketing and so much to business, to bodybuilding, to consistency, because we know the game. That's the hard part, because the simplistic part is what makes us have to choose the action. And when you have the path, then you have to sit with why you're really not choosing the action. Because it's not that you don't know the path. It's not that you don't know to drink your water. It's not that you don't know to meal prep. It's not that you don't know to get your reps in, or your sups in, or your sleeps in. It's that you choose not to do them even though you know. And that's the question that most people don't want to sit with, because the answer equals their success. But most people are convinced that they're afraid of failure. They're not. They're afraid of success, because success means that their entire identity, every story, everything they've ever been known with, they'd have to let go of to write a new book. So it's easier to say the workout doesn't work instead of I don't work. It's easier to say the fork made me fat rather than I chose to eat it. And so it just creates that washing machine of rumination. And the hardest part for me is, no matter how long I've done this, no matter how many times I've won and failed, I can look back at every single win and I can pin it to clarity, intention, and consistency. And I can look at every loss, and those things are the things that are missing.
Some gold, Dad, tell us, huh?
And I got one nugget on that, because what bodybuilders understand, and what you understood, is that you don't win because you're perfect. You win because you keep trying and adjusting until you get as close as possible. There is no how it was done yesterday is done today. There is no how I ate yesterday is today. Every day is a fresh day. And that's what you have to fall in love with. You don't win when you love the finish line. You win when you love the process, because the finish line and where you place is a byproduct of the work that you do when nobody's looking. Right? Like, and I love the Tom Brady story. I crave it. It's your story. It's my story. It's the story of, yep, everybody counts you out. But when they counted me out, when they counted you out, I just went to work.
Double down.
That's it. Thank you. You're right. I'm not ready yet. But the next time you see me, I'll be beyond ready. And that's what it comes down to. No one's going to do this for me. No one's going to fly to Vegas. No one's going to invest in you. No one's going to give you a chance. I don't know if it works, but I sure as shit am going to invest every ounce into the prep that working is the best possible outcome that I get. And that's all I can do, because I don't have control of the result. I can come into your office. I can invest every ounce of me into you. But what you do with it when I leave is completely up to you. But I do have control of the likelihood of that based on how much I invest in the front and how much I give. And bodybuilding is no different. Eating is no different. It's about making a plan and going. And if you have to make adjustments, but protect the progress. Because I'm pretty sure if you're a bodybuilder and you're in the middle of prep and you eat chocolate cake and you still want to stand on stage, you go back to your meals tomorrow. You don't get a flat tire and then slash the other 3 and be like, oh, guess I'm not going home today. Guess I'm not going on stage.
keeping with the bodybuilding theme, what advice would you give now you're in the shoes you're in now to any aspiring athlete stroke entrepreneur that they can learn in the process of doing bodybuilding before we go?
Well, I think the one that most people won't talk about is my end goal, which is the only way you're ever going to win this game is if you have the best, most integrous, whole, complete relationship with the only person you're guaranteed to spend the rest of your life with.
That's you.
And that's you. Because there's two types of bodybuilders in this world. There's bodybuilders that go to the gym in silence because they're dancing with their own devil. Mm-hmm. And then there's bodybuilders that go and they'd rather listen to everybody else's devils than dance with their own.
Let me guess which one you are.
Take a gander. There's no escaping you. And what I know is I started bodybuilding because that's what I thought I wanted. I didn't realize it was the fastest path to getting what I really wanted, which was knowing me. The same reason when you had the clarity many, many years before you made a decision, because you also had the same moment. And so what I look at, bodybuilding, entrepreneurship, working out, anything that you commit to, you have to understand that you're committing to something to build a relationship with yourself, not to get something, not to look a certain way. Because what you look like, and this is going to sound as cheese dick as you think, but listen, I'm a man. I was bulimic. I was sexually abused. I would binge, I would purge, and I had an 8-pack, and I thought I was fat. Like, I've been there. I know what it boils down to, but how I look on the outside is a reflection of how I feel on the inside. And no matter how many times I repaint my outside, if I don't like what's on the inside, it's not going to stick. And it never will. And my life has been a series of lessons of forgetting that until the universe punishes me and reminds me that it's always going to be about that.
When you started bodybuilding, was a lot of the things that you've mentioned, sexual abuse and the trauma and everything else, was that more of a punishment for you to beat yourself up so you didn't do anything?
It was both. So it was two sides. So the bullying, right? So my front teeth were knocked out 4 times by the time I was 12. Like, I was the only white kid in my class. I was in West Hartford, Connecticut, right? So I'm the only white kid. So all the black kids beat me up, right? Because I was the one that was out, right? And then that was drug abuse, physical abuse, my family, right? So in and out, moving a lot. Ended up in a private school. That didn't go well. Then we ended up moving back to Massachusetts. And then I went to the white rich neighborhood. And then, you know, because my parents lived in my grandmother's house. So I ended up in a neighborhood we didn't belong in. And then I'm picked on for that because I have the broken parents and the drug addicts and the cops. So my nose was broken. So, I mean, by the time I was 14, 15, I was suspended like 7 times for getting beat up. I had like nose broken, everything. I'd never fought back, never. And I just, like, it never felt right. Like, it never felt right. And then, you know, it was like, I think 7th grade, 8th grade, once I just snapped and I fought back and nobody fought me again, but I never wanted to fight.
Thank you for watching this segment. Check out the full interview on iTunes, Spotify, or YouTube. Help us by subscribing, leave a like, comment, or a positive review. Click this to see what YouTube recommends, and this to see the full interview. See you on the next one. Out.